In this video, we are going to learn about triangles. We will cover the most important things you need to know, like how to find the area of triangle, use Pythagorean theorem if you have a right triangle, calculating the missing interior and exterior angles. A triangle is a closed shape made of three straight sides. Every triangle has six elements, three sides, and three angles. Let's get started. Area of triangle. How to find the area of triangle? The formula for the area of triangle is area, here the area, equal half multiply by the base and multiply by the height. This one here, base, and this one here, height. Where is the height and where is the base? It's depend on where is the height. For example, if the height here, let's say here this dot, let's say here is the square. Square here means a 90 degrees. If you have a 90 degrees here, it's mean this one here, this one is the base, and this one means the height. Why this happen like this? Because you are thinking like you are sitting inside this square. The bottom side here is the base and the vertical dot line here is the height. Or where is the height again? If you have the height from here, this vertex to there means, and of course here this is a 90 degrees angle, so this mean here, this here is the base and this here is the height. So always you are thinking you are sitting in this square and you look up and it's like you are tight here in this side, so the height is there and the base is here. Again, if you have the height like this, here this is the square, it's like you are sitting here in this square and tight here, so the height is this is the height and this is the base. The whole thing here is the base. So now you know how to find the area of triangle if you have height and if you have a base. Now let's give you examples about this. For example, if we have these three examples, if you have right triangle, if you have obtuse triangle like this, and if you have this acute triangle. Here, how can we find this area of this? Let's draw this one here to understand where is the base and where is the height. Let's change the color. So this here triangle like this, and here is the 90 degrees. Where's the base? As we done up, here is the base, because you are thinking like you are sitting here, and here is the height. It's like you are looking up. Of course you can thinking like this one it's like height and this one it's like the base. As I said, it's like here you are sitting and tight in this side, and if you look up it's like there, so this is the height and this is the base. But for simplicity I will choose this one, the base, and this one for the height. The area of triangle, area equal half multiply by base multiply by height. So first we have to write half here, the area of this one, and then we have to multiply by the base, which is this one, which is 1, multiply by this 2. And we know we can simplify this one with this one, so the answer is 1 meter square. So here, because we are dealing with the area, so that's why we wrote this 2. Now, what is the base and what is the height of this to find the area? Again, I will draw this one here again. So this one here, it's like this, then like this, then like this. So the height as they draw here is vertical. So here 90 degrees. So where's the base? As we said, you are thinking you are sitting here. So this is where you are. So you are sitting here. So this is the height. Where is the base? The base is this one. This is the base. Because this here, the base side is here. Not, of course, not here. So you have to know the length of this one and you have to know the length of this height. So here we have to write as here. So half multiply by the base. The base is 7, multiply by the height, which is 6. We can simplify this one with this one, and here 6 divided by 3, or we can say half of 6, 3. Now 3 multiplied by 7, which is 21 square units. Now, to find the area of this one, how to find the area, we have to know first where is the base and where is the height. Of course, the base, it's like you are sitting here and tight with this side. So this is the base, and the height where you are looking up, or you can thinking it's like the vertical side of the base, which is the height. Let's draw it here again. So it's like this. So the whole thing here is the base, and this one is the height. Now to find the area, of course we have to write first half. So half multiply by the base, which is 6, multiply by the height, which is 4. Half of 6, which is 3. 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12 square units. So we found the area of these triangles. Now let's talk about Pythagorean formula. So in any right triangle, like this right triangle, like this one, which has angle which is 90 degrees, we can use the Pythagorean formula. What is the Pythagorean formula? Which is this one, the square of this hypotenuse, this one, c square equal a square, which is this side, plus b square. So this is the Pythagorean formula for this right triangle. Here C is the hypotenuse, which is here the longest side, which is the side opposite the 90 degrees, and it's always the longest side. The other two sides here, A and B, are called the legs of the right triangle. So the important thing that if you have a right triangle, the formula of the sides here, c square equal a square plus b square. Let's give you two examples about this. For example, if you have these two examples, let's find the unknown variable or the unknown length of the side which is missing. Let's change the color. To find the hypotenuse of this right triangle, we have to say x square using the Pythagorean formula, 6 square plus 8 square, which is this one. If we want to simplify this one, which is here, x square equal 36 plus 64, because 6 multiplied by 6, which is 36, 8 multiplied by 8, which is 64. Now here x square equal 36 plus 64, which is 100. If you take the square root of both sides, if you take here square root and here square root, you will get x equal 10. So the answer of this one, x equal 10. So here, this one equal 10. So this side equal 10. Formally, if you want to take the square root of x squared, you have to write like this, x. So here, if you want to take, you have to write like this, the square root of 100, which is 10. Now, if you want to find the absolute value of x equal 10, you have to write either x equal 10 or x equal negative 10. Since we know that the side which represents the length always positive, not negative, so we reject this negative 10. For simplicity, we don't write these steps. We immediately write from here to there. So we always not write this one, but formally, if you want to be more formal, you have to write it like this. But let's delete it. So immediately we write from here to there. 5. Here we have the same right triangle with the sides 3 and 5, and we want to find this sides which has length y. How to find this one? We have to write where is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the opposite side of this 90 degrees, which is 5. So we have to write 5 square equal y square plus 3 square, which is this one. 5 square, which is 25, equal y square plus 9, because 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. Now, if we take this one to the other side, so it will be 25 minus 9 equal y square. 25 minus 9, which is 16, equal y square. If we take the square root of both sides, we will get 4 here, the square root of 16, which is 4, the square root of y square, which is y. So we found that y here equal 4. Of course, you can write here y equal 4. Instead of say 4 equal y, we can say y equal 4. So we found y equal 4. Now let's look at a more interesting problem like this one here. Suppose here we have the triangle ADE, which is right triangle, and also here we have a right triangle which is ABC, and this side here equal to this side, which is this triangle is isosceles triangle. So here this angles, of course this angle equal to this angle, because here this side equal to this side. Now we want to find this x, this y, this z, and this w. How to find them? Let's start with this triangle here to find x and y. How to find it? We know that the sum of interior angles of any triangle which is 180 degrees, so x plus 90 plus y equal 180 degrees. So x plus y plus 90 degrees equal 180 degrees. To find x and y, we know that this x equal y, yx equal y, because I will write in bracket, because AB equal AC. This side here equal to this side, so this angle equal to this angle. It's like you have this triangle. If this side equal to this side means this angle's equal to this angle, but here it's a little bit rotating and it's look like here. So this equal to this. So here we can substitute x equal y here. So we have y plus y plus 90 degrees equal 180 degrees. If we take this one to the other side, so and if we simplify this one, it will be 2y equal 180 degrees minus 90 degrees. So 2y equal 180 degrees minus 90 degrees, which is 90 degrees. If we divide here by 2 and here by 2, so we found y equal 45 degrees. So we found this one here, y equal 45 degrees. And of course, since x equal y, so x equal y equal 45 degrees. So this one here is 45 degrees. Now we found this one, How to find this z or this w? Of course, the simplest way to find this w, because we know this value and this value, but we don't know this value. It's like this. It's like you have triangle like this. Here, as we said here, 45, and here 90 degrees, and here is w, which is here. So to find w, we can say w equal 180 degrees minus the sum of these two, because we know the sum of interior angles of triangle is 180 degrees. So it's very easy to find this w, which is this one w here, which is 90 plus 45. To simplify this one, 90 degrees plus 45 degrees, which is 135 degrees. Now w equal 180 degrees minus 135 degrees, which is 45 degrees. So we found this one as 45 degrees. How to find z? Of course, it's very simple to find z, since we know here this is a straight angle. This angle is 180 degrees. So we can say z equal 180 degrees minus this y, because we know that if we have a straight line, this here is 180 degrees. So z equal 180 degrees minus this 45 degrees, which is 135 degrees. Can we find this angle? Of course we can find this angle. Since here this 90 degrees and we know the whole thing is 180 degrees, so this one of course it's equal to 90 degrees as well, because the sum of this straight angle here, these two angles, which they are forming a linear pair, which is 180 degrees. So here this angle is 90 degrees. Here we found this z, which is 135 degrees, 135 degrees. So we found all the angles here. Now let's talk about the interior and exterior angles of a triangle. The sum of interior angles of triangle, as we have said earlier, A plus B plus C equal 180 degrees. So the sum of these angles is 180 degrees. What about the exterior angles? The exterior angles here x, y, z. The sum of these angles here x plus y plus z always equal 360 degrees. We will use these sum to find the missing interior or exterior angles. Example 7, which we want to find the missing angle x. How to find the missing angle x? We have to write x equal 180 degrees minus the sum of these two, 80 plus 60. 180 degrees minus the sum of these two angles, which is 80 plus 60. 80 plus 60, which is 140. 180 minus 140, which is 40. So x equal 40 degrees. So we found this one as 40 degrees. Now, how to find the missing exterior angle here, y? To find this y, we know that the sum of the exterior angles, which is 360 degrees, we can write 360 degrees minus the sum of these two. So y equal 360 degrees minus this one plus this one. So y equal the sum of these two here is 240 degrees. 360 degrees minus 240 degrees, which is 120 degrees. So we found this y as 120 degrees. And of course, if we want to find these interior angles here, it's very simple, since we know the whole thing here equal 180 degrees. So this one is equal 60 degrees, because the sum of these two angles, which are forming linear pair, which is 180 degrees, so this is 60 degrees, and the same thing here, 180 degrees, so this is 60 degrees, and the same thing, since this one, the whole thing 180 degrees, so this one here is 60 degrees. So we found all the angles here. Now, example 9 and example 10. The same thing, we want to find the interior angles and exterior angles for the missing angles. To find the missing angles here, which is x and x, we have to write x plus 90 degrees equal 180 degrees, because we know that the sum of interior angles of any triangle is 180 degrees. So we wrote here x plus 90 equal 180 degrees. To simplify this one, it will be 2x. If we take this one to the other side, which is 180 degrees minus 90 degrees. To simplify this one here I will write it again, 2x, 180 degrees minus 90 degrees, which is 90 degrees. If we divide 2 for both sides, so here if we divide by 2 and here if we divide by 2, so we take rid of this one here too, so x equal 90 divided by 2, which is 45 degrees. So we found x equal 45 degrees. So this here angle is 45 degrees, and here this angle here is 45 degrees. To find this angle here, y, We know here this is a straight angles, which is 180 degrees. So to find y, we have to say y equal 180 degrees minus this angle to find this y. So y equal 180 degrees minus this 45 degrees. So 180 degrees minus this 45 degrees to find this y. So y equal 180 degrees minus 45 degrees, which is 135 degrees. So we found this angle, which is 135 degrees. Now, let's find this z. How to find z? As we have said, the sum of the exterior angles of any triangles is 360 degrees. So z plus 50 degrees plus 150 degrees equal 360 degrees. So z plus 50 degrees plus 150 degrees equal 360 degrees. So z equal, here the sum of these two, which is 200 degrees. If we take this one to the other side, it will give us 360 degrees minus 200 degrees. So z equal 360 degrees minus 200 degrees, which is 160 degrees. So we found z equal 160 degrees. So this z here equal 160 degrees. So we found this z equal 160 degrees. Can we find these interior angles? Of course we can find these interior angles, since here is 180 degrees. So to find this angle here, which is 180 degrees minus 160 degrees, which is 20 degrees. So this here 20 degrees, and the same thing here, the whole thing is 180 degrees. To find this angle here, it's like 180 degrees minus 50 degrees, which is 130 degrees. So here this angle is 130 degrees, and the same thing, the whole thing here is 180 degrees. To find this angle, the same thing is 180 degrees minus 150 degrees equal 30 degrees. So this angle is equal 30 degrees. So we found all angles here. Now you know the most important thing about triangles: how to find the missing sides using the Pythagorean formula, how to calculate the area, and how to find both interior and exterior angles. I hope this video made triangles simple and interesting to understand. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more math videos. And feel free to comment below with your question or suggestion about this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.